Hey guys, Sean Strickland here with Poison Spider Remuda and Training in Christoval, Texas. First thing I'd like to do is tell all of y'all thank you that responded to the videos that we posted the other day. I was pretty hesitant to do it. When you put yourself out there, you can have the tendencies to get criticized and all that kind of stuff, but honestly, I don't care. People can criticize all day. This is what works for me, and hopefully some of this will work for you. The main reason I did these videos is because I didn't have anybody really growing up that taught me the proper ways of training a horse. I did grow up on the back of a horse, and I'm very fortunate to have been able to do that, but it wasn't in a training type atmosphere. So my passion grew with horses. I decided to try to train some. I messed a lot of good horses up. I made some good horses. And that's kind of why I made these videos, to help some of y'all out there. Maybe you're struggling with something. Maybe you're a young guy, a young girl, and you want to learn how to train horses. Maybe some of this stuff will help you. Like I said, this stuff is what works for me. It may not work for you. It may not work for somebody else, but it works for me. And we've had good results. Do we still struggle? Absolutely. I'm still learning every day. Every horse is different, and you have an opportunity to learn with that horse. But some of the things that we got messages about, we had a lot of messages, people liking it, people wanting us to show them this, show them that. But one message that I kind of liked was, hey, what bits do you use on your colts? And as most of you know, I ride 99.9% colts. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is the bits that we use when we're riding our colts. The first thing that I do use whenever I ride my colt for the first handful of times is just a halter. A halter and a lead rope. I don't even put anything in their mouth. I spend some time on the ground with them, getting them soft with that halter, so when I do transition to a bit, they know what that pull to the left, to the right means, what that stop means, what that back means, just with a halter. And then we'll start moving to the bit. The first bit that I do like to use, though, is a John Israel colt bit with swivel sides. The reason I like the John Israel bit, it does not collapse in their mouth. It's got a pretty big diameter there. They can't get their tongue over the top of it. If you notice, a colt will always play with the bit, and they'll always, stick their tongue out, whatever. They're gumming it the first time that you put it in their mouth. And so that's why I like this bit. It's solid. They can't get their tongue across it or over it, and it's got a good bit of relief in there. And it's got these sides on here, these bigger type sides that do swivel, and I can pull on that mouth some without that bit trying to run through their mouth. And sometimes it depends on the horse. Some of them take it great, some of them don't take it great, and if they don't take it great, then I might just tie their head to the stirrup or something, some light pressure, and just let them figure it out on their own. This one's just got a set of yacht reins, a roping type rein. I like these kind of reins when I'm riding colts. If something boogers, or if they do want to take off or hog around or something like that, I'm not going to lose a rein. I've got them always in my hand. So that's the first bit that I go to, is a John Israel colt bit. Second bit that I use is just a plain snaffle. It's nothing expensive. It's nothing fancy. It's just a snaffle. It's not a ring snaffle. It's a fixed snaffle. And I like this snaffle a lot. I'll ride it maybe... Oh, you never can tell with a horse. I mean, heck, I might ride them in this for a month. You never know. I might ride them in it for a day. It all depends on the horse. There's no specific bit. There's no specific magic pill or anything like that that's going to make a horse perfect in their mouth. It's all in your hands. Now, by saying that, it doesn't mean that I have perfect hands. I struggle with it just like everybody else. But this is the second bit that I go to. I like the solid sides right here. Yes, it does swivel. It's a snaffle. But I like the solid sides again right there. So when I do pull on that mouth, it kind of catches the corners and it doesn't run through. Also, again, it does have those roping type reins, the yacht reins. I do like those reins a lot. These ones are a little bit shorter, so I can get a quicker connection with my hand. They're not as long. These ones are only about 8 foot long. From here, it all depends. It all depends on the horse. It all depends on what your goal is. And I change bits constantly in my horse's mouth, in my colt's mouth. So I never just stick with the same snaffle. I do stick with the John Israel at first. Then I do go to this snaffle and I'll ride it for a little while. But after that, I'll kind of start switching some stuff around. I want a different feel in my horse's mouth. I may add a little weight to my horse's mouth next. Let's see, where is that bit? You know, there's this bit right here. It's a ring snaffle, and it's weighted. You know, it's got the big heavy rings on it. It's got a twist in it. It's still got the tongue relief in it. You notice the curves right there. And this one's got copper in the twist. Kind of creates some saliva. So, you know, I might ride this for a few days. And I just like the weight. It kind of naturally draws their head down a little bit. Whenever you pull, they can feel it a little quicker. And whenever you release, though, that's the thing I like about the weight. Whenever you pull and you release, they instantly feel that release because of the weight in the bit. Now, this bit, snaffle, does not have the roping type reins. It does have leather reins because I do like to use a martingale with this one sometimes. And you know, I like to use it without the martingale. I like to use it with the martingale. And so that's why I stuck with the leather reins on this one. Let's see. Different snaffle here. I call this one the Alligator. It's just going to have a lot more feel to it. Your horse is going to have a lot more feel to it. I don't know if you can see in here, but it's got little grooves cut in it right down here. Now, they're not sharp or anything like that, and you notice it's a straighter type snaffle here. Doesn't have as much curve or tongue relief to it. This one's going to be able to get their attention a little bit quicker. You're not going to have to pull and hang on their mouth as much. It's got good weight to it too. I like that as well. So whenever they do feel the pull, and you can be a little bit lighter with this, you don't have to pull maybe as hard or as long. They feel that little bit of bite. And like I said, it's not sharp at all. It just grabs their attention a little bit more. And whenever they do feel that, their tendencies to give you that face is a little bit quicker. And then it still does have that weight, so whenever you release, it instantly takes that pressure off. It does have the roping reins attached to it. I've got a martingale set up that does go on it, but I don't use a martingale on this one very often at all. Actually, one of my favorite snaffles I've ever had is this one right here, and I can't remember who made it. Speaking of martingales, this little snaffle bit set up right here has got a martingale built into it with the roping reins. I made this myself. It's a real thin snaffle. There's not hardly any weight to it at all. It's a real thin diameter type snaffle. It's going to have a little bit more bite to it. I like the martingale setup to it, so whenever I do pull, it's got instant connection to the way that I like. And like I said, this one stays rigged up all the time. And this setup is really when I want to start getting control of that nose, get control of that rib, and that's got that martingale in there, like I said, to kind of grab and get control of that rib, that hip, get that front end coming around. And it's got a little bit more bite with less weight. So whenever I do drop it, they don't feel the release as quick with this. But since this martingale is on there and I've got it set up on bungee cord, I pull, and the bungee cord almost pulls it back as soon as I release, so I don't have to, because I don't have the weight in this bit.